Okay, welcome back to White Tiger Kenpo Purple Belt. This is lesson number 10. You're almost done with Purple Belt, so keep up the good work. In this lesson, we're going to look at gift and opening cal A and B. So let's bow in and we'll get started. Okay, the first technique we're going to look at is for it's gift. It's for a handshake. A lot of people ask, why do we attack someone for a handshake, and we don't. It's just the easiest way to learn this particular method of a defense. Eventually you should take that handshake and go from a grab also to a like a counter grab, also from a grab from a punch to do the same technique. It's just when you're learning like jiu-jitsu, they start everything off real simple with a handshake and a grab, and then you work your way up to actually doing stuff with punches or something coming at you. Now also, if someone's doing a handshake, it could be a sucker punch. You know, hey, how you doing? And then they follow through with a punch, which is one reason you could be doing this technique. It's not as common, but it is still done out there. So it could be done for either way. So a gift is for a handshake, as I said, but later on you should learn to practice it for a cross-arm grab, and even start learning to do the technique by grabbing the punch out of the air and with like a threading the needle and then going into the technique, and not just leave it at the handshake. But for learning purposes, we're going to do this from the handshake, and if someone shakes your hand, we're going to take the web of our hand and we're going to go right against the wrist so that it bends. At the same time, we're going to step in. Now in this case, we're assuming that there is the sucker punch coming. So as the person's shaking your hand, they're really going to sucker punch you with their other hand. So as we do that, we're going to step in and we're going to push this arm towards that way so it turns the body and it blocks that initial punch. At the same time, we're going to use the web of our hand and bring that hand down so that the fingers are pointed down like this. And then what you want to do is push right below the fingers right here and push those fingers to the ribs, trying to get the fingers to point to the rib cage as you slightly push up. This will get the opponent on their toes, and this is the really only way you're going to make this technique work. If you leave your opponent flat-footed and you try to do this, there's nothing to make them come forward. There's really no way to get them off balance. But if you get them up on their toes, and as you pull them, they have no choice but to come with you because they have no balance at that point. So you're going to come in and you're going to push up on those fingers and get them up on the toes. And then you're going to take your left elbow and pop it right underneath the arm and apply that pressure. Then from there, you're going to take your right foot, dance her back to the 10-30 position. As you push up on the arm and down on the fingers, you're going to spin them around and then immediately come out of it with a wheel kick or a roundhouse kick. So again, let me do it from this angle. So from here, you're going to come in and push those fingers all the way up under the ribs, point to the ribs, pop the elbow underneath. This is going to be your base. You're going to use this as your leverage. Then you're going to spin around and immediately come out with the wheel kick. You don't want to pause, because if you stay here too long, they're going to be way too close for this kick to work. Now, if for some reason that does happen, you can go into a knee strike rather than a wheel kick. But for the technique, it is actually a wheel kick. So as soon as you pull back and around, you want to immediately come out with that wheel kick. There again, we want to use that hot potato method or hot plate method, where you hit the plate and you immediately come back out. So it's a bounce, it's a transitional very quickly. So again, from here, up, making sure you point those fingers not only down, but try to push them towards the ribs. Get them up on their toes. Make sure you get that part done very well, because if you don't, the rest of it's not going to work. So as you come in and you do that, then you're going to pull around and wheel kick to the body. Okay, again, come in and pop them, dance your back, and wheel kick. Okay, the first part of that is the most important. That's the one you're going to really need to spend a lot of time practicing on, is getting those fingers pointed and down so that they're up on their toes, popping that elbow up there and using that elbow as a leverage or a base, so that as you push this down, you can keep them on their toes as you throw that wheel kick. Okay, and that's the technique gift. And the next technique, it's opening cal A and B. This is another two-hand choke. And in this particular technique, we're going to use what we call the Chinese L, which is a vertical outward block and a vertical and a straight punch thrown at the exact same time. I'm going to do this from the side so you can see these better. So on the A version, you're going to step left to 230. Now we're going to step forward because the person's on top of us. So we don't have the room to step back, and we want to get some distance between the two of us so we can do our technique. So as we step to 230, we're going to do a right vertical outward block. So the right hand is going to drop as the left hand goes into chamber, and you're in a soft bow position. Then the right hand is going to immediately come up as you pivot at the same time and throw that punch. Okay, now the punch can go to the ribs. It's designed to go to the ribs, but it can go to the face. But remember, there's the arm right there. So if you go high, you're going to have to make sure you really go above that arm, and you're going to more likely to hit the forehead. So the best target is the rib cage at this point. Most Tracy Kenpo students stop the technique there, but at White Tiger, we've went ahead and decided to have the students add several strikes to this. And it doesn't really matter the combination of strikes. So as you come in here, one, the guy's going to bend over, you can pop him in the head, and then go for an inverted back to the solar plexus or ribs. That's going to be kind of up to you as you practice it. We just want you to come up with one, 2 or 3 extra strikes afterwards based on how you think they're going to react and how you practice it. Find out what your combination is that works for you, and then work it that way. There again, there's not a right or wrong way to do that particular part. Main thing, this is where the technique officially ends. We just want you to throw in some extra strikes there because that's not going to end the technique. You're going to have to come up with something else. And then right now at this level, the easiest thing to do would be the punches that follow up. So again, on opening Cal A, we're going to step left into a soft bow, right vertical outward block, left punch to ribs, and then once you're done with that, just throw several combination strikes into there to the body to follow up with this particular technique. And then as you get better at it and more advanced, you can come up with different ways to follow up that technique. But for testing purposes, it'll always be 1, 2, 3 after the initial strike. So one more time, opening Cal A, step in, vertical outward block, and then throw in some extra punches there to the targeting. Now the B version is designed that they're on top, they're not on top of you, they're at a distance. So we want to step back left to 430, but we're still not going to be able to throw a punch because they're still too close because of the way we're stepping in. So we're not going to have the ability to throw that complete reverse punch. So what we're going to do as we come in, instead of doing a reverse punch, we're going to go to our elbows, to the rib cage, okay? So there again, there's the arm. We're pushing the arm off of our shoulders. We're having it in check. At the same time, we're going to go to a soft bow and throw a elbow into the rib cage. And then there again, 1, 2, 3, follow up with 3 different strikes. It doesn't matter what they are. Okay, again on B, opening Cal B, we're going to step hand in chamber, left hand drops, boom, okay? We just hit them as hard as we can. That should back them up a little bit, which will give us room for these. But there again, that's going to depend on your weight versus them, the size. So try it with different people. Find out which strikes work the best for different sizes and for your own particular nature of striking. Okay, again, the B version. Step back left to 430 into soft bow. Right hand is in chamber. Left hand is dropped. We're going to vertical outward block. At the same time, we're going to throw a elbow strike and then come up with several strikes afterwards, and that's opening Cal B. So in this lesson, we learned gift. Gift there again is for a handshake, but as you progress, try to find different ways to use the same technique, because obviously a sucker punch from a handshake is not as common as maybe just a right punch or a left punch. So as they shake your hand, you see the punch coming. So we're going to step in, and we're going to use this hand to block the punch, and then we're going to use our elbow here to come underneath it. So you got your arm underneath theirs, and then you're going to use that as your base. You keep applying pressure with those fingers. Try to not only are they pointed down, but you want to point them, start pushing them towards the rib cage as you push up on the elbow. That'll get them on their toes. And as you keep them in that position, you're going to step around, swing them around all the way around, and then follow that up with immediately with a wheel kick. There again, if they're too close, you could use a knee, but the technique does call for a wheel kick. But just keep in mind that their option to that would be a knee to the body if you find that they came in too fast on you. So again, handshake. Grab and come in and step. Just step right across the body. Almost like we're doing breaking the sword. If you remember that one from Yellow Belt, he came in just like this. Similar technique, okay, but instead of taking them down, we're going to keep them up on their toes. But we want to make sure we block that punch by using their arm and turning their body slightly as we do this. Also, by having them up on their toes, they're not going to have any power, so they can't really throw anything. They can't turn, they can't adjust. So by getting them on their toes, pretty much puts them at your mercy, because it'll be very hard for them to counter whatever it is that you're doing to them. So up on there, keep them up on those toes at all times, step around, and then wheel kick immediately to the body. Then you got opening Cal A. We're going to step left to 230 as we do a right vertical outward block. Left punch to the ribs, even though you could go to the head, but it's probably not going to be available because of the arm in the way. So we're going to mainly strike the rib cage. That should bend him over and drop this arm. That'll give us our headshot. Then I come in with an inverted because they're going to stand back up. And this could either be a back fist or hammer fist or any other number of strikes. And then you got the B version. Same thing, but we're going to step in on them because they're at arm's length. And we don't have the room to throw the punch at this point. So we're going to do an elbow to the ribs. And then same thing, they're going to buckle over. We're going to throw a punch to the face if you want, then another inverted, then another hammer fist. But there again, make up your own combinations of what you want to do in your own targeting. Practice on different sized people and different weights so that you can see what kind of reaction you get for which strike. Okay? That is lesson 10 of White Tiger Kenpo. You guys are doing great. Keep moving forward. You're almost there. Until your next lesson.